Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Talking Toads. I'll try to be a little bit more chipper, but we're down bad right now, right, Reed? I mean, these are dark times we're in.
It's about as down bad as you can get. There's been a lot of down bad times, unfortunately, over the past couple years. But yeah, we aren't at rock bottom yet, but we're getting close there.
It was not a great game. TCU obviously lost 28-41. They are now 4-2 on the season with two Big 12 losses, going down to a not great Kansas State team. They're now 3-4. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I think my first game reaction, just in general, and even after sleeping on it for a night, is I'm disappointed in Hoover. Uh, if he wants to be that elite status, if he wants to be a Heisman hopeful, he's got to show up in these bigger games, and it's just flat out disappointing. I'm still a believer in him. I still think that there is something there, and I think he can lead a team to good things because we've seen it. But time and time again, these big moments, it just doesn't seem like he's made for them, and that just sounds weird to say out loud, but that's what it suggests so far.
The thing is, yesterday shouldn't have even been a big moment. Kansas State was 2-4. They're a team that's going to be near the bottom of the Big 12. So that performance yesterday was just inexcusable. And same thing with Bryles. I've been a big Bryles supporter over the past 2 years. I don't think he's gotten much help as he should with the O-line coaching, to say the least. But yesterday was probably his second worst game all time at TCU. I think the Houston game last year was a little worse, but Bryles was just dreadful yesterday. I think Kavorian Barnes got 3 carries in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. And the first half, our running game was actually looking good. Then we just completely threw it away for whatever reason.
We
So
keep doing that.
there's really no good highlights to the game yesterday. The defense still can't get off the field on third down. That's a continuing issue as we've seen throughout the first 6 or 7 games, whatever it's been. Uh, so yeah, I usually have notes for these episodes for the post game ones, but it's just going to be a venting session, to be honest.
I was throughout the first quarter. It was obviously 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, and I liked our balanced attack. You could tell we were mixing in some runs. By the way, having Barnes out there does make a difference. I think that is official. Like
It's clear.
he does move it differently. I liked that the first quarter, and we were making them punt the ball. And then obviously we went up, but we were down 14-7 at half. It just felt like it flipped a switch. And yeah, our offensive play calling, we tend to freak out and just completely abandon the run. It was, yeah.
There was no reason to freak out. And if anything, they should have been encouraged, because that's the best our own line has been run blocking the whole year, dating back to North Carolina. And it kind of goes unnoticed. They did flip Ben Taylor Whitfield to the left tackle and Quentin Harris to the right tackle side. So I don't know if that was the main difference, or they just got chewed out and just be more physical and overwhelming for the D line. But how do you abandon that when that's the best it's looked all year?
I have no idea. It's not like there were any other injuries. There's always going to be moments where, yeah, you get stuffed at the line, and that happens. But you have to commit to the run. It completely changes your offensive scheme and the way their defense plays. It just changes everything when you commit to it. And there's some conversation in the coaching room where they say we're ready to push it aside and just go all pass in the second half. I mean, this is a few games now.
It makes zero sense. And another thing, before I forget, because it's late on Sunday night, when did this turn into the Ed Small game? I think he's going to be a beast at TCU, but you have Eric McAllister, who's probably going to be a top 3 round pick, 4th round pick, something like that, who's your number one receiver, like obvious go-to guy. He gets like 0 targets in the first half, and whenever they start throwing it to him, it's too little too late. And that's kind of what happened in the Colorado game last week too. He only had 4 receptions then. McAllister is a guy who should be getting 10 targets at least a game. just your go-to receiver. Then they kept throwing to Manjack for whatever reason.
And he
He
wasn't
has
ready.
he's had a few key drops over this year so far. Maybe put on some gloves. Who knows? That might help. But they should be targeting McAllister way more. And same with Dwyer. Ever since North Carolina, Dwyer's just kind of been non-existent or a non-factor.
I was going to bring up. I think the reason Ed Small is starting to get more involved is Dwyer has been disappointing. He dropped a few again. Something's not clicking there. This wide receiving core is way too talented, or at least we thought they were, to be performing like this. A lot of drops in yesterday's game. That was definitely the story of the first half.
And it seems like a thing with Hoover. Whenever he dials in on one guy for that game, it seems like he's just looking for him. If you go back to North Carolina, it was mainly just Dwyer. Then McAllister, mainly just SMU. Against KState, it was mainly just Ed Small. So I don't know what that is, but that has to be fixed. And there's definitely a clear difference with Hoover at home compared to him on the road. Those picks he had yesterday, or I guess it was one with another backwards pass turnover there, but he, for whatever reason, he's not able to read the linebackers on the road. He had a similar pick at Arizona State like he had yesterday. So it's just astonishing how much of a different player he is on the road.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell on the TV how loud that place was getting, but it didn't. You're exactly right. Yes, it was a big game for us because we did feel like this could be kind of the start of some momentum after the Colorado win. You got Baylor next week. It was kind of a big game in that sense, but no, the opponent should not be. You should not be threatened or feel threatened in this type of environment if you're a serious contender. So yeah, to be frazzled and at Kansas State, a 2-4 Kansas State team, afternoon game, it was a really disappointing effort. And I'm personally not ready to give up on Hoover. I really do.
No, no.
I you're gonna have games like this. I still think he's a really good quarterback, but no doubt, and he even admitted after the game he was disappointed in his performance. He's got to be better. I mean, it was bad. I don't know what his QBR was yesterday, but I can't imagine it was anything over 50. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah. So you said you aren't ready to give up on Hoover. Um, a lot of fans have been talking about Dykes, and before this year started during Big 12 Media Days or whatever, he said, if we aren't in contention for a Big 12 championship this year, this is a disappointing season. And by the way, it's looking right now, there's no chance in hell we end up getting there. I know you're more positive than me, but I don't know how anyone can take away, like, we could be a team that finishes with 10 wins. I just don't see it. With Tech, they probably aren't going to lose. Utah crushed Arizona State yesterday, so I think it's really a mix between 2 and 3 teams. I just don't see us getting there. So if Dyke said it's going to be a disappointing season if we don't make it, then what does that make him? There's been too many instances under Sonny Dykes where we lose games that we should have no business in losing. Look back to UCF last year, Houston last year. And it's kind of ironic because probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I gave them credit. I'm like, TCU's won 9 out of their past 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those losses last year, I was like, maybe he's able to like flip the page. He found something with this team, but clearly not, because we're still getting undisciplined, sloppy play, weird play calling, and you're losing to teams that you have no business losing to. So I don't know what the record would have to be for him to be gone, but I think his seat is definitely getting warmer, unfortunately, because he seems like a great dude, and no one's ever going to forget 2022. But it's just too common with this team. It's just frustrating, and I don't really know what he does on the sideline, to be honest.
Definitely gets mad. We've seen him turn purple a few times. I mean, what would you say that the seat is warm for him?
I think so, and you have to remember Mike Buddy didn't hire him. So Mike Buddy eventually is going to want his own guy, and if Dykeson just ends up going 7-5, 6-6 this year, Buddy probably has to take a hard look at that.
I was going to throw out the 6-6. This team to me reeks of 8-4. It just we're such an 8-4 team right now. It just feels that way. So I think if we're 8-4, I think Buddy would give him another year, because I think if you're 8-4, I think Hoover probably stays another year because that means that he probably didn't have his best year, and then Sonny would get another one more chance
But
next year. But
but
6-6, I think.
how
Got
many times are like we just gonna like allow Dykes and this team to have piss poor performances against underwhelming teams in the Big 12? Like TCU is not a school that should be in the middle of the pack of the Big 12 with all the resources we have.
that should definitely be our standard. You're right. Look, last year was not great start to the season, but it finished strong, as we just mentioned. You got to see how this year finishes out before you can. We're in no way at the point where he should be on the hot seat right now, where the team is struggling like that.
No,
But
no.
let's talk about that at the end of the season. Let's see how this one lives out. There is still a chance that this one is just simply a stinker. Like this one is just God, we stunk today.
I
Um,
just don't see it. Probably a little preview moving forward. I'm not going to predict us to win another game on the road.
wow.
Even if it's just West Virginia, I don't care.
I was gonna say we're better than West.
Maybe West Virginia, but Houston, BYU, definitely not.
BYU is not looking great.
I just could see this loss coming from a mile away yesterday. That's why I predicted it during the preview. I just feel like I know this team very well.
So with that, I mean, you had this as a loss. Why do you? Is it because it actually happened, or was it worse than you thought it was?
Yeah, the play has just been worse than what I thought it would be. Still stupid mistakes, undisciplined. Play calling is starting to scare me a lot. I just don't know how you go away from the run yesterday after that's the best run game we've had in a few games.
Yeah, the I forget what point in the. I guess that would have been the third where Hoover. It was just a horrible sequence. Penalties. We kept moving back, and then Hoover threw a pick six. That was backbreaking. That's where I started to feel like, oh, like things are crumbling, and it just wasn't going to happen yesterday. There's still flashes. I still believe in Hoover. I still think, again, I think this is personally an 8-4 team with some silly bowl. But that is definitely worse than what I thought we were going to be, and that is extremely disappointing. And that most of it falls on Hoover and Sonny, and that's if you have question marks at quarterback and head coach,
It's a bad place to be.
that's concerning.
I think the reason why Hoover's been struggling a little bit recently is because those past few games against SMU and Arizona State, he started to get hit a little bit more or way more than he did at the beginning of the year. So I think he might be a little jumpy on that end, and that might be what's causing it. But you just said this has 8-4 written over it, this team. TCU should not be 8-4 in the Big 12. I'm sorry. There's no Texas or OU or any bad boy. We aren't playing Tech this year. So to me, that's just inexcusable.
Absolutely. I haven't looked at the line for next week, but I still could see us beating Baylor, even though I think Baylor looks better than we do in its current form. I know we got to go to West Virginia, so next thing you know, I think we're right. We're getting close to the 8-win mark, but you're exactly right. Our standard should be much higher than that. I think we're still way too talented for that.
Yeah.
But man, there's no immediate portal or trades that can happen. So this is the team you have, and you have to find some ways to make this work. What'd you think of the defense, or away from Hoover real quick? What'd you think of the defense yesterday?
So we've been saying like how Jamel Johnson and Bud Clark have been great, but I don't think we've really talked about much how many times they've also been beat deep a decent amount. And that was more evident again yesterday. And the main struggle just keeps being the third down defense. The first down and second down, we're aggressive. We get to the ball, but for whatever reason, we just look less aggressive on third. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I mean, really no great takeaways on the defense yesterday. There was little to no pressure whenever Johnson was dropping back. So I don't know. What was your read on the defense?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the secondary. I continue to be disappointed in our corners. We didn't get a takeaway yesterday when Avery Johnson's not a good passer. We made him look super efficient yesterday. And you're right, but Bud Clark, TCU legend, Jamel Johnson having a good year, but you're exactly right. There are moments where they still look lost out there, and it's our whole secondary. There's some communication thing going on. I don't know what it is. Something's not clicking between our corners and safeties. So that was the biggest call out. Really, nothing else super noteworthy. Our offense obviously didn't put them in a lot of great positions, field position wise, but I'm sure I really was trying to think today of some positives, and
There, yeah.
this one's tough.
If you lose the game, that's really all that matters. And if it's to that poor of a KState team, their worst team in probably 5 to 10 years, there's no positives. And the corners, another thing on the defense, it's starting to look like the Gillespie days when the corners are 10 yards off the ball when it's 3rd and 3, and the receivers can run like a 3-yard stop route and it's a first down. So that drives me insane now. I don't know why they're starting to do that.
Yeah, they're playing way too much zone in those situations. I don't get that defensive philosophy either. It seems like it's not rocket science.
No. In Kansas State, they don't have the receivers where you have to play off. Like they don't have a Jordan Tyson where you might need a little more coverage so you get off the ball a little bit. Like you could have jammed those receivers at the line and they wouldn't have been able to beat you. So it's just frustrating how us fans can see this stuff. Like the majority of fans can, but the coaches make zero adjustments for whatever reason.
Does feel like our adjustments are super light. Switching gears real quick, I know you talk about how our portal needs to be offensive line crazy, and I agree. We got to get a punter.
Yeah.
I don't care what it takes. Signed $1 million punter. I don't care what it takes. We have a problem there too. I mean, it's just all three phases. It's disgusting.
It's just bad football. It was just a gross game yesterday. And Crawl, whole shank like 4 in a row, and then just have like a 60-yarder right after that. But it's just the inconsistently. Like clearly he has a leg on him, but he is shanking way too many balls.
There were at least two I can think of yesterday that were laughable. Like it's the type where the ref just keeps running up the sideline because
He's like,
even he can't believe it. Yeah, how short of a punt it was. And our kicker,
can't kick a field goal.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to kick a field goal the rest of the year, and maybe that's good. maybe that'll force us to try to put up some more points. But wow, we have no faith in him to kick any field goals.
Yeah, it's just offense, defense, special teams. Out of the 3 units, well, let's just leave this to offense and defense. What unit do you think has been performing better?
Throughout the season or yesterday?
Throughout the season.
I still think the offense has been a bright spot. Yesterday was a stinker.
It's starting to scare me though because against Colorado it looked pretty bad too for 2 quarters. So It's been, what would that be, 6 out of 8 quarters now where the offense has just been yikes.
Right. But yeah. It also just tells you a lot about the first 3 weeks of the season, how that was more of a tell of the other teams and not necessarily us, which we kind of felt. But that playing Kansas State and Arizona State and even Colorado has definitely put that into proper perspective.
And we were saying after the North Carolina game, just awesome win. We look great, but just pause for a little. Right. Just don't step on the gas too early. And clearly we were right about that. But yeah, SMU, I still think they're going to be a pretty good team in the ACC, but they're nothing special either. So,
was there any part of you that was excited, that had any glimmer of hope there in the fourth quarter where TCU was starting to move the ball better, because Kansas State was obviously in a more of a prevent-based defense, but was there an ounce of you left there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I was on live yesterday, YouTube Live, when McAllister caught that one that went for like 70 yards and it cut it to 14. There was about 10 minutes left. I'm like, we're going to win this game because Kansas State, they have a horrible fourth quarter point differential. And I'm like, we got this, and it just snowballed from there. But I started screaming because if we had targeted McAllister like that all game, that wouldn't have even been a game. But for whatever reason, we just keep going to man jack. And like I said, Ed Small, he's going to be great, but go to your number one guy who you've trusted for over a year now. So,
Right.
yeah, there's a point where I'm like, we could come back. What about you?
Yeah, the math was mathing. I agree. When we were down 14 with 10, it might have even been 11 minutes. No, I think it was 10 minutes left. Absolutely, we were right there. But then once our defense got on the field and we couldn't stop the run, then it was good games. But yeah, that would have been so TCU to somehow pull in there and just have two Eric McAllister bombs to tie it up or something. That would have been very TCU, but was
That
not happening.
that last touchdown McAllister caught, he was like, I could give less of a bleep about this. He's like, he was probably mad he was getting targeted in the fourth quarter and not all game. But another thing here, real quick, if we never saw KState or Chris Kleiman again, I wouldn't be disappointed.
There is something off when we play Kansas State. There's no doubt about it. I think every team has that opponent, and Kansas State is certainly ours. So
It's annoying.
I guess that's the positive is we can put that one in the rearview mirror. I don't know. Can you take away any other positives aside from the fact that it's over?
Ed Small did look promising. I just
Unless
don't
he
understand
transferred.
why he turned into your number one receiver yesterday out of nowhere. He did take advantage of that, but if we just spread the ball around a little better, I think obviously the outcome would have been different. It'll be interesting to see how many people are at the game this coming week for Baylor because I think it'll be a light crowd to say the least.
You think so? So your vibes are they're tanked.
If you just look at Twitter, not just me, the majority of TCU fans are fed up, rightfully so. You just can't lose to teams that are 2-4 in the Big 12. I'm sorry. Then also the game's at 11 a.m. next week, and those are always light anyway.
I think this was a reminder of how far away this team is from like national championship contention.
Yeah.
Um, so there is that. If anything, maybe that could be. I'm really trying to paint some sort of positive light. If anything, that can be a positive in that the team can start to focus on the main thing. Like get better each week, build off of this. It's good experience for some of these young guys like Ed Small, and I think if you can capitalize and beat a good Baylor team at home in a big rivalry game, you can still find some positives throughout the season. But absolutely no questions about it. The Big 12 championship is pretty far out of reach at this point. So it is. It's disappointing when that was the goal, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know what idiot would put money on TC winning the Big 12 before the year started, but that was me.
We did have yeah. Maybe you betting on TCU at the beginning of the season is maybe we don't do that next year.
Oh, definitely not. That's a waste of money. But yeah, also we don't want to jinx it for next year either.
Well, we're not going to start talking next year because I'm not at that point yet. But no doubt this was a very disappointing showing. We could talk about it in the next episode too. But the rest of the Big 12 had some craziness going on. There were some good teams that also lost. So mathematically, you're not eliminated from Arlington yet. But again, there's a lot of football left, but I don't know if we want to watch it.
It's a long shot. Yeah. You got anything else for Kansas State, or do you want me to go ahead and do this ad read?
Yeah, go ahead. Who's this?
Yes. So if y'all
talking Toads today.
Yeah, there are happiness for this week because the football team isn't providing that as of late. So again, we're sponsored by RDSco Goods in Fort Worth. They have fully custom hats. They offer the best rope hat options. Go check them out, and we should have a promo code for y'all soon. I've been getting a few comments about the hat, so that's cool.
They look great. Really fun company. Thanks again, RDSco, for supporting us. And yeah, we look forward to continue our modeling career with you.
Yeah, we're super beautiful, so I'm sure they love using us. That post they had were like the most handsome Toad fans ever. That was great. So thank you for that. We needed that confidence boost.
We do. Our wives don't tell us that, so thank you for telling us that.
No, she tells me I look ugly all the time. So.
Oh, Frog fans, we are gonna push through this together. I don't know. We're gonna try to keep sleeping on this one. Hopefully, we have quote unquote good practices this week, and that team down south from Waco comes into town, and that always a win against them always kind of helps the mood.
I've noticed something. You're a little less positive this week, and that's hard to do. So if you're a little down, then something has gone wrong.
I can't ignore it anymore. The Arizona State. The reason I was optimistic about the Arizona State loss, as weird as that sounds, is we were right there at the end, and it was at a tough environment against a really good Arizona State team. This one, not only did we look worse against a worse team, we were healthier, and we still laid an egg. So really tough to find some positives in this one.
Yeah. Hopefully no more eggs this year, but to me it's just a little too late. Even if we go, what would that be? 7 games left, 7-0 the rest of the way. I think it's just a little too late.
As a sports fanatic, do you prefer losses? If you had to pick one, losses like this where you almost didn't even want to watch the fourth quarter, you go maybe do something else, or do you prefer a heartbreaking loss in the last second?
That's tough. I think it depends on when it is during the schedule.
Yeah.
If it was late in the year, say it was the 12th game of the year, when you're in the Big 12 championship, Blues, you're out, and we had lost by a last-second field goal, I think that would be 10 times worse than this.
Yeah. It is situational. You're right. At least in the close losses, you can tell yourself that you were right there in a way.
Yeah.
This one, we just got our butt smacked.
Where does this loss rank for you out of the past couple of years, like worst losses wise?
Houston last year beat me up pretty bad.
That was probably the worst.
A few of the losses last year beat me up pretty bad. That UCF loss was horrible. To just let that slip away. Arizona State rocked me pretty good this year. So I don't know.
You're about to get TKO'd with all these losses.
This one's up there, man. You
kept getting rocked.
Especially because I did genuinely feel like we were starting to build some momentum after that Colorado game last week. Felt like this team was starting to figure some things out. And then to, again, just kind of get your butt smacked against a bad Kansas State team. It was a bad one.
It's gross, but we have Baylor coming up this week, and hopefully the outcome will be a little different there. So yeah, I'm pretty beat up still about it.
Don't forget this. There's some really good talent on this team, but something's rotten, and we just got to figure it out.
Coaching might be a little rotten.
There's a long list, unfortunately. It's not just one thing. So I think that's all I got, Reed. I think I need to throw this one out. I think I need to put this one in the toilet and just flush it.
Get some sleep, get some more positivity in you. It just can't be me. I can only be the negative one, not you.
I'll look for ways to find some positives. I'll try my best.
Okay.
We're at home next week, so that's helpful. So
True.
Not going to Waco. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening to Talking Toads. This is a good therapy session. We're going to throw this game out the window, and we'll talk to you here in a bit to preview. What do they call it? The Blue Bonnet Showdown?
Blue Bonnet Battle or something like that.
We're not going to call it that.
Doesn't matter.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to Talking Toads.